Hello, my little loves. My name is Olivia Heine. Welcome back to the Essence Show and podcast. Today, we are talking about all things fall, the fall equinox, which just happened. We're going to be talking about how you can work in alignment with the seasonal energy of fall and also the problems that we come across with actually tuning into the very potent and powerful ways in which we can flow, tap into alignment and productivity in the way that we work in this particular season, and what is actually keeping us from doing that. So keep listening and let's dive in. Welcome back to another FE. I am so happy that you're here. If you're new here, just welcome in general. I love hanging out with you in this space. This is one of my favorite things to do every week is to sit down and record this podcast or this video, both versions, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on whatever podcast app you listen to your podcasts on, and really just be able to share what I do with my clients one-on-one, what I do within my courses like Cyclical Ascension and Rest for Success, and just kind of bring it out into the public, closing off that gatekeeping. And I mean, there's so much incredible information out there, but what I really love to do and what makes this podcast so unique and also the work that I get to do is that we're really like tuning it into how you do success and how you show up to work in order to revolutionize the way that you work. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Olivia Heine, and I am an NLP and sacred success coach. So like I just said, I'm really here to help you revolutionize the way that you do success so that we can ditch the burnout, get out of this hustle cycle and this go, go, go culture, and actually start tapping into aligned sacred success where you're alchemizing the way that you do success in order to create bigger and more aligned and sustainable results. If we look at the reason why we want a goal, it really comes back to one simple thing. It's not just the physical thing that you want, but it's the thing that's underneath the physical thing. It is the emotional experience and the feeling frequency that you believe you're going to get from having that goal, right? So what we're really focusing on here when we look at cyclical success strategies, and the seasons are one of those beautiful codes that we can use to tap into your cyclical success strategy, is really understanding how you can work more holistically, more in alignment with your body, your natural rhythms, your natural innate cycles of how you are actually meant to show up and create something. The ways, the old dominant narratives, those ways of working, they are dying out right now because we are coming to this conscious collective state of that's not sustainable. That doesn't feel good for me. That means self-sacrificing my own needs, desires, well-being, physical, mental, emotional, all of those things. And we're getting to this point of I'm fucking done with it, right? And if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably on that path potentially. Don't want to call you out in any way, but a little bit I do. Because if you're here and you're interested in learning a new way of working, a way that's actually going to give you spaciousness, time, energy, ease, freedom, you are in the right place. And that is what we are doing here. So today we're talking about a little bit the fall equinox, which just happened. So if you're watching this in real time, we just passed it just a couple days ago on September 23rd. Or if you are listening to this at a later date, go Google it, find out when it's happening so that you can be on time and ready to go. But I really want to surpass that and go into the actual energy behind fall, because the fall season lasts until about December 21st or 22nd, which is when we have the winter solstice marking the start of winter. But we have a lot of time right now to really tap in and harness this very powerful, potent energy that, like I said at the very beginning in the intro, can be really problematic and disregarded in regards to how we are taught to show up to work or what is acceptable when it comes to work. So let's focus first and foremost. Let's just start by talking about the fall equinox, because I do want to cover that. The fall equinox is also known as Mabon, and this is really a time where we shift into the season of fall. It is literally a celebration of harvesting. Like I said, it happened on September 23rd or 22nd, depending on where you are in the world. And this is a time of shifting from this very active, very illuminating, very visible, very outward focused energy of the season of summer and coming back inward in the season of fall. And this harvest time marks a culmination point. And a culmination point is like the top climax point before we kind of start to bring things back in. Like, this is my visual of that if you're watching this. And when we think about this turning point and this climactic, like culmination point, what that is really about is this harvest. We're celebrating and reaping the rewards of the crops that we have planted. So if you're not a farmer, that is okay, or a gardener. That is not the point here. This is metaphorically speaking. So this is about reaping the benefits, the results, the harvest of the seeds, aka the goals, the desires that you have planted earlier this year. And whether or not your project is coming to an end right now, and I'll talk more about that in a bit, because working with the fall energy is more than just the equinox, but it doesn't need to mean that your, projects at work or within your business, that you can't be doing anything anymore, that everything is coming to an end. But it is a time to start slowing down. It is a time to start pausing. And most importantly, it's a time to start reflecting and looking for the gratitude, because what a harvest essentially is about is showing your gratitude. You are so grateful and thankful that there was enough that was able to grow this year that is going to therefore now sustain you through the winter. And again, very largely farmer metaphorically speaking, but I want you to come back to looking for the things that you can be so insanely grateful for in your life right now, and start to shift this outward focused summer energy and start to tune inwards. And like I said, I'm going to talk more about how you can actually use this in the fall season for the entire next couple months. But let's finish talking about what the equinox is about. So the equinox actually literally means equal time of night and day. So when we think about that, and it's not quite 100% scientifically literal, but on an energetic level, that's exactly what is happening, where we have an equal period of darkness and an equal period of lightness. And it represents this balance, and therefore the shift from more lightness, which is the seasons of spring and summer, into more darkness, which is then the seasons of fall and winter. And this balance is really powerful and potent because it actually represents a balance between the masculine, which is the summer and spring seasons of lightness. The sun is represented by the masculine energy, and then the feminine energy, which is represented by darkness, which is the moon energy. And so when we look at this balance, it's almost like a passing on of the baton, right? We're moving from these masculine seasons and we're passing the baton over to the feminine led seasons. And now the feminine is ready to lead for the next couple months and really show us how we can tap more into this ebb phase where things don't really grow, where we release the leaves, we release things from our lives, we allow space to be, to pause, to slow down. And ultimately, that is really what the shift into fall is about. It is about a slowing down. It is about coming inwards. This energy is very inward focused. And it's also about starting to kind of, with this slowing down, reflect, celebrate, give thanks, and prepare for what's to come during the hibernation months of winter, where we're actually moving into a regenerative state, which we'll save that for a winter season video. So there's something really crucial happening here. And this is the problem that I mentioned before about how we are conditioned to work within our society. And this problem comes back to the focus on what it means to do good work or to be successful. And what we're focused on there, and what society teaches us, what we learn growing up, is hard work. Obviously, it's very important, but also that your worthiness is related to the output of work that you can produce. So what that ultimately means is productivity is very, very, very highly valued, right? And how many of us are constantly seeking to be more productive, right? It's one of the main things that I talk about at Flow in my business, in my coaching, and then also here, because we want productivity. We want to be in flow. But this pressure to do it all the time, to be on all the time, it starts to become really draining. And then we start to struggle with fatigue, mental health. We start to struggle with physical illnesses in our body. We can't focus. We don't see the momentum, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things that start happening, all because we so badly want this one thing to be able to really produce something incredible and be productive in the process, right? So when society teaches us this growing up, I mean, it teaches us that in so many different ways. We can look at schooling, how schools are structured, what we learn from our parents, how things are passed down. If you are a type A, perfectionist, overachiever, anything of the sort, I will raise my hand to that because that is me. That is where I come from. I'm also an oldest child, so that comes with a lot of pressure as well. Every child has their own experiences growing up, their own internalizations of what they experience, also often their own traumas. So interesting, the different dynamics there. But that can also just add to this pressure of like, I want to perform, I want to do well, I want to be good, right? Good girl complex. Are we here? Do we understand that? Yes. Okay, great. So what happens then here, and this is the problem, is that society is so focused on this productivity that we're really stuck in only the planning and the executing of a project. And so what I call this is we're stuck in the spring and summer months indefinitely. And when we think about seasons, and especially living in a place that has all four seasons, we need all four seasons in order to go through the entire process in order to have the season of spring again, right? We can't just be in an indefinite state of spring and summer. And I call this in my work the cycle of creation. You have a very specific way of creating something, and this is actually innate in all of us as humans. We have a specific cycle of creation, and it includes all four seasons, metaphorically speaking. And so if we are only using spring and summer, we're only planning and activating and executing with those two seasons in mind all the time. One, we're going to burn ourselves out, but two, we're missing these other two seasons of fall and winter. And these are so crucial in this process, in this cycle of creation for how you take action, how you plan your goals, how you actually achieve success that is sustainable, that is aligned, that feels good, that doesn't leave you feeling more burnt out or more drained, okay? And ultimately, what this comes down to is the rejection of the feminine-led seasons. So I mentioned before the equinox, and the fall equinox represents this balance between masculine and feminine. So during the equinox, you are really asked to look at how can I create and implement more balance in my life? How can I clear what's not serving me? How can I celebrate what I've created and then prepare for these inward months, tune inward, start stepping in more to this feminine energy. And this has nothing to do with how you identify your inherent gender in this situation. I talk a lot more about that in other spaces, but that is not the point here. The point here is how can you start tuning more into yourself? That is what the feminine asks you to do. It starts to ask you to tune into your intuition, start to tune into your rituals that really give you grounded embodiment. It starts to ask you to feel into your body, let your body guide you. If we've been planning and executing and out there and doing all the things, we need to come back and tend to this garden now, right? And so it's really an ask to slow down, to start to pause, and it's an opportunity for cleansing. And this reset is really crucial because, again, if we don't go through this entire process of creation or the cycle of creation, we actually aren't ready to go into another season of spring. And a really great way to know if you do this is if you're someone who achieves a goal and then immediately jumps into a new goal, right? So let's talk about how you can use the full season of fall, which, like I said, is going to last until December 21st, 22nd, the winter solstice, for success and for revolutionizing your work, which means how can you create more success without putting yourself into burnout? How can you create bigger results without creating this inherent building stress in your body, without feeling like you need to do more, without this pressure? Like, how can you really create what you're here to do and enjoy it and feel safe in your body and feel expanded in that? So there's a few things I'm going to give you here. Number one, I really want you to start reflecting on what you have created up until this point this year. Think about it on an emotional level. Think about it on a physical level. Think about it on a mental level. And then, of course, think about it in relation to your work or your success specific goals, okay? It is so important here to also really sit with what's coming up. There might be some feelings of like, I didn't do enough. I wish I had done better. This shouldn't have happened this way. I should have created bigger results here. And really allowing yourself to bring all of that so-called clutter or all of that kind of balled up stuff that we've just like been pushing under the rug the whole time. It's like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to do the next thing. I'm just going to jump into the next thing. I'm good. allow space for that. Allow space to be there. And the best way to move through a feeling is to actually feel it. And at the end of the day, that's all those things really are. The next thing is to really start letting go. I love decluttering. That was the first business I ever started. So this is a great time to clear what is no longer serving you. And you can really think of it as like a midway marker in like a big marathon race of, okay, is my pace good here? Do I need to, throw away one of these water bottles so that I can keep running or I can keep moving without this extra weight? Like this is a check-in point. This isn't the end all be all, but it is a time to kind of start letting go of what is not serving you from the lessons that you've gained up until this point. I really want to encourage you as well to bring in then some simplicity, to give yourself a schedule reset. There are back to school vibes happening right now for a reason, because we are energetically in that season of, okay, I want to tap back into my grounded rituals. I want to feel like I have a good routine going here. Okay, what needs to go so that my routine can be really simple? Simplicity is key here, and that's going to allow you the space and the actual capacity to start slowing down more, which is what you want to do to start tuning in. Some types of work that you can start focusing on during the season of fall is, again, any kind of inward work, any kind of writing project, any kind of personal project that allows you to spend more time on your own with yourself, incorporating more rituals or self-care things into your day or into your weekends, and really things that allow you to fuel some sort of creativity within yourself. It's also a great time for editing, paying attention to detail, looking at your finances. This is a time where I do a lot of my bookkeeping for the year, a lot of my tax related things. Again, those things are obviously, we want to stay on top of those things, but this is a really prime time for that, especially post summer for me is like, I've been having fun. I've been doing a lot of things. Okay, now I'm making the intentional time and space to clean up. And literally, I want you to think about, what tasks would I do in my business, in my work, in my life, if I was quote unquote preparing for hibernation? Because essentially that's what this energy is here for. It's a cleanup, it's a release, and it's a reset to prepare for the winter months. Okay. Of course, the point here is not to do like fall energy 100% at work or in your business. That's just not always possible, right? There might be big projects that are coming up for you right now. You might have a launch that you're in your business, whatever it may be that you're currently working towards or what your goal is. It's not about throwing that out the window and being like, I can't launch now, I can't do things now. But it is about saying, how can I step into more of this energy for myself now? How can I slow down more in my own life or in my own daily routine? Or when I am coming to do a work task for a project at work or in my business or for a launch, how can I get more grounded first? How can I spread things out or have more time for myself to tune inwards? Because this is going to be the thing that actually gives the energy back into your work, that allows you to be productive, that helps you get focused, and that enables you to flow. So I would love to hear in the comments below, what is your current goal? What are you currently working towards in your business, in your life, in your career? And what are you doing to infuse more of this fall seasonal energy into how you are showing up for this success, and how you're revolutionizing the way that you're working? Because again, this expectation to be on at 100% all the time just isn't possible. And it also is a ridiculous task that is keeping you from actually being able to create and achieve as much as you are actually able to do. So I love to end these seasonal episodes with a meditation to help you tap into the seasonal energy. So if you have 5 minutes right now, if you are not walking or driving or going somewhere, I encourage you to take those 5 minutes. Let's get into the space together of tapping into this powerful, potent energy. If you are busy with something else right now, press pause, come back to this later, where you can get really cozy in your home, in your space, in your environment, and tap into this energy, because this is going to be something that you can continue to come back to, that you can continue to use whenever you're starting to feel this like, oh, I need to go, I need to do more. And again, disclaimer, this is not like I can only be in fall energy. You have other projects, you have things that you're doing, you have work commitments. I'm the same way. That's not what I'm saying. It's about really harnessing the power of this potent time and not overbooking yourself, not overdoing things, not expecting yourself to be at your peak level of productivity all the time. That's what we're here to do. Okay. So I encourage you to get comfortable, sit down, get relaxed where you are at. And when you are ready, when you're comfortable, make sure that you're sitting up straight. If you are seated, if you're lying down, make sure there's no pillow or anything around your head so that you can really lay it flat on the ground. And let's take a few deep breaths together just to get centered here. And as you breathe in, I want you to think the words flow. And as you breathe out, think the word release. Let's do it again. Inhale, flow. And exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, flow. And exhale, release. So where you're sitting now, feeling really grounded with whatever part of your body is connected to the earth, whether that be your sits bones or your back, your legs, your buttocks, your shoulders, your hands. And I want you to imagine that you're laying on the literal earth, whether you want to be laying in a meadow, in a field, in a bed of flowers, near a lake or an ocean, whatever feels good to you, whatever popped into your mind first is perfect for you. And as you lay here on the earth, start to feel the soil. Feel into the energy that the earth is feeding you. And imagine this energy in a green light that is coming and surrounding your body. Slowly rising from the earth, this green, sparkly light, wrapping itself around you, letting you know that it is here to support you. It is here to love you, to serve you, to guide you. This is a mirror and a reflection of the energy that already exists within your own body. You are a cyclical being, and therefore this is an innate part of who you are. As you sit here and feel yourself just enveloped by this beautiful green light, you notice the energy of slow contemplation and completion vibrates back up into your body from this light that is coming from the depths of the earth. It is this feeling of reaching fullness and feeling so fulfilled. This feeling of achievement starts to flow through your entire body. This light is now not only wrapping you up, but it is infusing into your cells. The height has been reached. The success has been achieved. The culmination is here, and you get to celebrate it. You get to give thanks for everything that has come your way, every opportunity, every situation, every connection, every little bit of abundance that has flowed to you. Celebrate it now. Around you, as you're enveloped by this green light, you notice that a harvest is taking place, and you start to see all these beautiful, abundant, fresh fruits and nourishing vegetables. You see the changing colors of the leaves and beautiful bouquets of fall flowers. There is a bounty surrounding you, and you sit taking in this feeling of plenty. Everything you need and everything you wanted is here now. It's all happened for you now. Sit in this feeling of prosperity for just one moment longer, soaking up every inch of it. And then you start to notice that the environment around you is changing as the leaves continue to change color and begin to fall. Releasing, letting go, collecting from the harvest. Breathe it in, breathe in the release. Step into the acceptance of the release. that this is a beautiful and natural next part in this cycle, that this next phase is necessary for the immense amount of abundance that just came through to be able to come through to you again. Breathe this in and offer your gratitude for the past season of summer and this upcoming season of fall and every opportunity, every little bit of abundance it will bring to you. And to wrap up, tune into this energy now of slowing down, of stepping into embodying this potent energy of fall for alchemizing your success, for revolutionizing the way that you work, and set an intention. What, if you leaned into the season, would allow for your greatest expansion and success within this next season? Take a moment to contemplate what is coming up for you. Sit in the silence and in the clarity. When you have your answer, breathe in, think the word clear and free. Breathe out the word release. And one more time, breathe in the word flow. And breathe out the word release. Welcome back. I would absolutely love to hear what came up for you during that little special bonus meditation. This meditation is also available on its own, so you can come back and listen to it over and over again. I also have a lot of meditations just like this up on Insight Timer. So if you're an Insight Timer lover like myself, I am on there. So come and hang out with me, get all the other meditations and activations that I offer on there. But for now and for this episode, thank you for joining me. I am so excited for you to step in and harness this beautiful, potent energy and how you are working, really completing the cycle of creation that we are inherently here to do. And really what you're doing is just honoring the natural process of your success and the holistic needs of your body. So I honor you, I celebrate you. And if there's any additional support that you would like, there are links to my courses, ways that we can work together one-on-one, and to the free O-Flow Collective, which is the beautiful community space in the description below or in the show notes that you can join. Once again, like, subscribe, share, pass this along to someone who would love and appreciate it. It means the world to me. It helps us spread this podcast and spread this wisdom. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.